Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to CityStreetsMe.com. Out here in the city of Wichita, doing it big on the beautiful west side of Wichita, Kansas, at the beautiful campus of Newman University. Yes, a Friends Falcon is at Newman, but it's all the same. Higher education, you know we love it. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we're here with a very businessman. City Streets is very happy to get in touch with the District Director of the Small Business Administration, Mr. Wayne Bell. Mr. Wayne Bell, say hello to the people.
Hey, thank you so much. It's my pleasure to be here with you today, and I look forward to sharing some information about what we do, and hopefully we'll be able to help a few folks who are interested in going into business or learning how to expand, learning how to access capital. So I'm excited about this interview.
Thank you very much. I'm glad you're here.
Hey, man. Hey, and I appreciate the opportunity.
Thank you very much. So I got in touch with you. I mean, obviously on City Streets, if you haven't been there, and for you that haven't been there, we also have a business section on City Streets, which is about educating the entrepreneur, educating the up-and-coming business person. Mm-hmm. But before we get there, I want to get in with you because I noticed you've got some pretty successful credentials lined up with you. So tell the people a little bit about you.
Okay. Well, I appreciate that, Andre. I'm originally from St. Louis. Came to Wichita several years ago to attend Wichita State. Mm-hmm. Went to Wichita State on a football scholarship, actually. Finished up a bachelor's degree in industrial technology. Right. Went to work in the aircraft industry and did that for about 10 years. Actually, did that for about 13 years. And during that time, I went back to school. Got a master's degree at Wichita State in business, an executive MBA. And just really had a good opportunity to work with a lot of great folks, really developed my career more or less in manufacturing management. Kind of transitioned about 10 years ago. I transitioned into the federal government. Also had a background in small business. Right. And so the position that I started in the government in was an administrative officer with the Transportation Security Administration. I started that it's right about just under 10 years. Right. And did that for 6 years as administrative officer with the Transportation Security Administration. That really got me familiar with the federal government in general. Like I said, I had a really broad background in management in general, kind of operations management. About 4 years ago, I saw a vacancy within the Small Business Administration for the local district director, and it really matched the background that I had, the education, the broad experience in larger corporations as well as small business, and someone who was connected to the community, that sort of thing, and it really came together pretty well. And this job has been a blessing. I've been in the position now for 3 years, and it's just been wonderful to meet people like yourself, entrepreneurs, people who are in business, people who are really trying to pursue their version of the American dream. Right. And it's really been great. It's been a great way to help the community, to help the state, and I just enjoy it.
Right on. Mm-hmm. I like that. And with that, I always stress that, especially being a young black male into the community, but just in the community as a whole, mm-hmm. that there's so much more to being successful than being a rapper or an entertainer or a sports figure. So what drove you to aspire to the levels of education and commitment in the business world that you did strive for?
Right. It is, everything you've just said is I completely agree with. While those are great goals and dreams to have. I had a dream of being a professional athlete, and others have dreams of going into the entertainment industry in some form or fashion. But I'll tell you, to be successful, no matter what field or career that you go into, you have to have an education that you can fall back on, an education that can help you navigate through. Even if I had have gone into professional athletics, I would have needed to know how to manage money, right. How to go about making major purchases, how to invest the money, that sort of thing. And that's where your education comes in. Right. And so if there are folks out there who are interested in going into the entertainment industry, well, there are so many administrative aspects of the entertainment industry that a person really needs to get educated on. There are all kind of manager positions. There are all kind of agent positions. There are services and things that the entertainment industry uses. So it really all goes back to education. And I'll tell you, in today's society, the people who are less educated and the people who don't pursue an education are going to it's going to become more and more of a challenge to even find a job.
Right.
Just to find a job. And so when you start talking about starting a business, the education behind you can really give you the credentials to start that business, and it gives you that credibility that says, hey, I understand what I'm talking about. I understand this industry.
Right.
Whatever the concept is, I've got the formal education behind me. I can do this.
Right.
So it's really, it's something that no matter what you go into, I always fall back on my education. If it had not been for my education, I would not be in the position I'm in.
Right on. So with you being the most opportune person to ask this question since I've got you here, let me ask you this. I'm going to walk into your office. Educate me from the bottom up, and as brief as you can, because I know you're pressed for time.
Right.
But if I want to start a business, what are some of the key concepts and criteria that I need to meet or I need to address before I even come into your office?
Well, I'll tell you, the way that we know that people are serious, when they come in the office, they at least have researched the industry that they're looking at. So I would encourage anyone, if you're thinking about a business idea, learn as much as you can about that industry. You need to really begin to work on a business plan. You may not have your final business plan together, but at least you've gone through the process of developing a business plan.
Right.
And if you need help in that area, what we always do is we refer people to our website, because there are actually templates of business plans out on the website. There are examples of other business plans that have been successful. And that website is simply sba.gov. So getting back to your question, you really need to have, so that we know that you're serious, so that the lending community knows you're serious, you need to have a business plan that you've started.
Right.
And it's very, very helpful to spend time with either some of our folks who work as counselors. There's a nonprofit group that we fund. It's called SCORE. SCORE is a group of business counselors that are volunteering their time. They've been successful in various industries, so they can help. There's another group that's funded by the SBA, and that is the Kansas Small Business Development Center.
Right.
They're located on campuses across the state. In Wichita, they're located on the campus of Wichita State in the Metroplex. And again, these are counselors that are paid. They work with hundreds of business owners each year. They understand the process. They can help with the market analysis, the research that's necessary. They can help you really get that business plan where it's close and ready to take to a lender.
Right.
Okay. So a person that comes into the office, once we're past the concept and we're past the business plan, there are kind of some basic criteria that we ask to determine if a person is really ready to move forward. Number one, what qualifies you to run this business? Well, that goes back to education.
Right.
What education, what certification, what direct experience do you have that qualifies you to run this business? If you're going to pursue financing, what collateral do you have? Because you're going to have to personally guarantee the loan. So whatever collateral that's available, whatever assets that you're going to buy with the small business financing, so that collateral needs to be considered. What cash do you have personally to invest? It's very important that you be prepared with at least 10% and maybe as high as 30% of the cash investment required of the total loan project, of the total loan proposal. Anywhere from 10 to 20% is the amount that you probably ought to be prepared to invest. Okay, personal credit. For a brand new business venture, the business itself hasn't developed any trade credit.
Right.
Okay, so personal credit is a big deal. Now, a lot of people in this economy have had personal setbacks. They've had various credit challenges, and that's all okay. But before we can move forward, those things have to be addressed through either a debt management plan, something in place that you're making payments that just can't be left open, and bills that you've walked away from. Lenders will not touch that kind of debt. But if there's a plan in place and you're making progress towards paying that debt, although that credit hurdle is an issue, it is something that that could be considered if these things are in place and you're working towards resolving those issues. Now, the final piece that we consider is whatever the concept that you're looking at, the lenders and SBA included, we're going to look at the baseline numbers for that industry.
Right.
So if you're looking at opening a restaurant that's a full service restaurant, and what we're going to do is we're going to refer to that industry and kind of look at the baseline numbers. What are the gross profit margins? What do they look like? What is the cash flow going to look like for that industry? That kind of thing. So that kind of gives you a little bit of an idea of what we're going to look at, things that we're going to talk about with the business owner or the entrepreneur. And if it's a service kind of business, we're going to give them all kinds of advice and tips. If it's a business that could likely do business with the federal agencies,
right.
I mean, the federal government is the largest purchaser of goods and services in the world. The U.S. federal government purchases, billions of services and goods from small businesses every day. So if it's a service that looks like it's going to lend itself to possibly federal opportunities, we're going to talk about that. And really, we're here as a support and as an organization that's going to assist a person down this path of business ownership and growth. So hopefully that answers that question.
That is knowledge. I like that. That is great education for the people, and definitely to take care of your credit. You know what I'm saying? Take care of your credit.
By the way, there's an agency, nonprofit, and it is Consumer Credit Counseling. Consumer Credit Counseling, they help to develop these individual debt management plans, that kind of thing. If you have any credit issues that are unresolved, I encourage you to reach out to Consumer Credit Counseling, because I know that is a reputable organization, and I know that they will help you get that debt on some sort of plan so that you can eventually bring your credit scores up and that kind of thing.
I'm gonna have to call you offline so I can get that number and give it to my sister, because my sister needs it. I'm playing. Not really. You need it. So let me ask you this: in your honest opinion, how do you see the Wichita market as far as small businesses popping up and being successful? What's the wavelength for that in town right now?
You know what? There's a lot of opportunity here in Wichita. A lot of opportunity for firms that have services that can support the aerospace industry. If you're a manufacturer or a contractor that can do work that's in need within the aviation industry, I know they're looking for more diversity among their sources and their suppliers. I know that I work very closely with a lot of organizations, and USD 259, our public school system here locally, they are always looking for more diversity among their suppliers. So I encourage anyone who's interested in it, if you're in a construction related industry, really get back to me, get back to USD 259, because there are some projects coming up that they're really looking out and reaching out to the community for more diversity among their supplier base. There's another project that's going to be huge, and it's coming up, $200 million project, and I'm talking about the new airport terminal that's under consideration within the city of Wichita. The project has not been approved, but it's up for vote within the Wichita City Council on June the 21st. And once that's passed, they're going to start having open solicitations for some of the work. If you are a contractor and you're interested, contact me. I'll get you plugged into that process. Just go to our website, sba.gov, and you can get all of my contact information. But we want to see more diversity among our small businesses and supplier base, throughout the city.